Major changes are aboard for the Arkansas football program. Hunter Yurachek just meeting with the media on Monday afternoon. We are fresh out of that here with Mike Irwin. I guess a special edition of Ask Mike, or Mike can offer up his take. Mike, to me, the biggest takeaway here, Hunter Yurachek asked a bunch of times in a bunch of different ways, is money going to be an issue? He said, of course, it's always a topic of concern, but it sounds like they've found the money to try and do something big here.
Well, yes, he said that, but then I got him to clarify it just a few minutes ago when I talked to him. He still says that NIL money will be reduced under this revenue sharing plan. I kept being told, no, that nothing has changed. He said the problem right now is there's no enforcement, but he says enforcement is coming. So I think what he's saying is we're going to have enough money initially, but we don't have to have it forever. And once this thing gets stabilized, then it's all about your ability to meet the cap, the salary cap, the $20.5 million, which they think they can do. So it sounds like they don't have an issue that just a few days ago we thought they had.
Another thing that Hunter Yurachek made extremely clear here, the effort just was not acceptable. They were left with no choice in making this change. How does Bobby Petrino navigate these waters here from here on out? They play 7 teams, all 7 receiving votes in the top 25.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult because he now has to take players that may be upset because their position coach is gone.
We've seen some of that,
yeah, position coach is gone. And he said the way you do that is you go in there and you talk to them like you're an adult now. Life is like this. You have to face disappointments and you still have to do your job, and you're going to hurt yourself if you let this affect you. How effective that's going to be with all of these guys, nobody can say. He said as of now, nobody's hit the portal. But they're having a meeting early this afternoon, and I doubt that we'll know the results of that very quickly, but that's the whole key. Hunter Yurachek's going in there with him. He's going to meet with them, and the message to those players is this had to happen. Be an adult, deal with your disappointment, get back out here on the practice field on Tuesday, and start working to make sure that we don't play the way we did the last 2 weeks.
There was a lot of speculation that maybe Hunter Yurachek could be next, that maybe he would not be making the next head football hire, whoever that is. It seemed to me that he was pretty assertive, pretty confident he is going to lead this coaching search. How do you feel about that?
Well, he did talk about a search firm,
yeah,
and that he will be reporting to the chancellor, and they will be talking about how the search firm is doing it. He said the reason you go through a search firm is that you can keep it quieter.
The confidentiality, yes.
Yeah, you keep it quieter. It doesn't get out as much, and it lets you get ahead of other schools that may be looking to hire someone later on if they let go of a coach a month from now, to get ahead of them. I have no idea if he's going to actually be doing that. Theoretically, once the search firm is in place, I mean, the chancellor could talk to those people and say, okay, what do you think? But yeah, I still think, I've been told that boosters are stepping forward, and they are the ones that are actively involved in this, and I'm told that Rhett Lashley is the #1 overwhelming favorite right now, and they're going to do everything they can to get enough money to get him here. That's where you're going to need money, because you're going to have to pay him $10 million to get him to take the job. You're going to have to guarantee him that he's got the revenue sharing money that he needs.
$1 million coordinators.
You're going to have to pay the coordinators. But I'm told that they're confident that they want him that bad, they're going to get him. So we'll see.
What if I would have told you 10 years ago, 2015, Bobby Petrino would be back as the head coach of the Razorbacks?
I knew that he'd told people he wanted to get back. I think the journey is incredible. It's like 14 years ago almost. And he was saying right after he got fired, I made a mistake. I gotta make it up. I gotta get back here somehow. The fact that he's got, how many jobs has he had since then? 5? And he goes
Western Kentucky, Louisville, Missouri State, offensive coordinator A&M, offensive coordinator Arkansas. This will technically be number 6.
6 different jobs in those 14 years, and yet here he is. He got back to where he said he wanted to. I would have never believed it could happen.
The people that you talk to, you're as plugged in as any media member here in the state. How much of a shot does Bobby Petrino really have? How much support does he have?
He has support if he makes a real difference. Now, can he?
Is 2 wins a real difference? Is 3 wins a real difference?
I'm talking maybe you got to go to a bowl game.
5, 6 wins.
Yeah. I don't know how you do that. I think the odds are long on that. He's got to get these players to say something was. I mean, they referred to it today. Hunter Yurachek referred to it today. What happened where you went from almost beating one of the best teams in the country, Ole Miss, to now you can't do anything right in the next 2 weeks? So they got to figure out what caused that to happen. And then if you can get those players back to where they were mentally in the Ole Miss game, then you're back. But he's got to do it, and I don't know if he can or not.
You've touched on it a little bit. It's just the climate of college athletics. This has nothing to do with the Arkansas situation. Concern factor for some of the players quitting, whether it's quietly quitting or literally leaving the team.
Again, all he said today was nobody's left as of yet.
Yeah, it's been 24 hours.
We've had some that put up emojis and then they took them down. Yeah. So that indicates to me they got to some of these players and kind of said, hey, calm down now. I think we're going to know very quickly if there's going to be a loss of a starter or two or three. But I talked to somebody about that and they said, is it going to kill you to lose a starter? Those starters were the ones
lost by 43 points. How bad can it get?
So maybe you promote somebody that's on the second unit up, and if they give you more energy, you end up better off.
How are they going to improve this defense? You give up 56 points here to Notre Dame over the weekend. 3 staffers are gone. We're about to hit October. Coaches just aren't out on the street. They're literally pulling people down from the booth, analysts, to come fill jobs.
He said that they're going to re-examine their base and maybe come up with a different base defense, which would be simpler and would allow them to concentrate more on just what they needed to do. He said you got to get you got to shed blocks, you got to move quickly, you got to be more physical, you got to tackle. And I think they'll stress those fundamentals and basically just take the position that if you watch the way they came out at halftime in Notre Dame, for that one brief possession, they were different. And what did they do then? They simplified. Yeah. And maybe that's what we're talking about here, making it more simple and concentrate on performance, not complicated schematics.
Bobby Petrino said that, hey, when I was here, this really was a special place. I still believe it's a special job. But Mike, how far are they from getting back to even just like a 8-9 win kind of mark, which probably still doesn't put you in the top 15? It seems like the Grand Canyon.
Well, when he came here before, he had a losing season that first year because Houston Nutt, when he left here, a lot of his players left and went. They didn't hit the portal. They went pro. Yeah. You lost McFadden. You lost Felix Jones. You lost Peyton Hillis. You lost all these guys. And so he had a 5-win season, but it only took him that 1 year. The second year, it's like up to 9 wins, then 10 wins, then 11 wins. So if he's coaching the way he did before, he can get results pretty quickly.
Is there anybody the fan base would accept? You said Rhett Lashley is kind of the guy right now. It feels like if there's a little bit of a letdown, there could be more revolt from the fan base. Should that be a concern by some of the power brokers here in the university?
Well, I think the thing Lashley has going for him is his previous ties to the program, because he was a grad assistant here for 1 year. He was a player here, even though he didn't play much. And he's from Northwest Arkansas. If he's younger, I think there are a lot of people out there that want a younger coach, somebody in their 30s or 40s, not somebody in their 50s or 60s. So I think that's a factor. But ultimately, he just has to come in and win. That's the thing. If whoever is hired, if they come in and they start winning, the fans will love them.
Final thought here on Ask Mike, the voice of the fans that you've gotten it. What's the tone of the fan base right now?
Well, it's all over the map. They want this to turn around, but in terms of who they think should come in here, all over the map. I mean, you've got people that say, I want Ed Ogeron. You people, I want Dan Mullen. You've got people that say, oh, I want this coach over here. What about Deion Sanders? All kinds of stuff. So they're all over the map in terms of what they individually think will help, but they will coalesce around the right guy if they hire the right guy. But that's not always easy.
Mike Irwin, you can always check him out here. Ask Mike on the Pig Trail Nation.